Yes, it is happening right now. We're live in the studio, and this is The Blend. And boy, do we have an incredible show for you. The new hotspot in downtown Pittsfield. It's Dorothy's, and they're going to tell me how to say Estaminet. Esta.
She's gonna tell you how to say
She's
it
good.
because
But
I
we'll,
screwed up.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit.
But
Well, you'll have
yeah.
to hear the whole story behind that. But first, Cara is here.
Hey
Hello.
everyone. Hi.
And we had a heck of a show last week, and I was really surprised by how many reactions we had to the whole idea of what happens to the diamond engagement ring
Yeah, that
once
was a
you
hot
get.
topic.
That was like a really hot topic. That struck a chord
It did.
with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by that?
I mean, well, not really, because I have heard stories. So I wasn't that surprised. But it was, it's definitely something that comes up.
Well, let's see, we talked about the holiday loophole. So if you give the diamond ring on a holiday, then that's the loophole. And then you also heard about diamond rings getting recycled.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes both ways. So
Yeah.
if the ex-husband gets the ring back, then they can refinagle the ring and give it to the next one.
Yeah.
But if the woman keeps the ring somehow, then they can maybe save money for the next marriage or something, or
Right.
something
Maybe.
like that.
Yeah.
So these are the things I
And
there's
there were
things
a
I had
lot
no
of
idea.
stories about fiancés too, like people that got engaged but didn't end up getting married, and like some people kept the ring and whatever. And
And
yeah.
so and one left it right on the kitchen counter
Yep,
and
just
said,
left it there.
"There you go.
Yep.
That's it. That's
Boom.
they didn't want anything to do with that." So there's that. And one thing that when you're a little divorce advice, one thing that happens when you blend a family is trying to figure out how to schedule. And I think in the ideal world is that you get a weekend off and then you have a week with all the kids, as
Yes.
opposed to a weekend with one set of kids and then a weekend next weekend with, because you want the kids together.
Yeah, I mean, our kids like being together, and it's nice for vacations, and it's nice, when we go out to dinner and things like that, even though we have 5 of them. They are really good and they're very well behaved, and it's fun having them all together. I can't imagine it any other way.
It The more the merrier.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. And then you kind of have your weekend to yourself.
Right.
So and I see some nodding heads.
Yeah,
and,
that's
you know.
the number one I would say is the quiet weekend. You do it
Yeah.
for the quiet weekend. Come on.
You do it for
Come on.
Yes, exactly.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was important even before you and I were married, when I was a single, like a real true single mom, completely on my own with no one. I liked, I would get a babysitter every now and then. It's important. It was important to have that adult conversation. And so
You gotta have me time.
yeah.
And Auron, you have your dogs.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't ever really get on my nerves. Like after the worst day of my life, like I get to come home to puppy cuddles. Like I mean, I guess I don't really ever get a vacation because unlike kids that you can, pawn off on grandparents and like other people, in your life that have kids, I probably get vacation like once every 2 years, but they don't stress me out the way
You got some big dogs.
I know.
Do you ever bring them to work?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have 3 huskies.
Oh, I love huskies.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're great dogs, but they definitely take a lot. Like when I do leave town, I have to have somebody, like I have to pay somebody to come and stay at my house because they're emotional. Like they can't spend the night alone at the house or they freak out and destroy everything.
And they probably talk to you, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
all day. Every
they
day.
are adorable. Yeah.
Full on conversations. Like
So there is, for all you viewers out there of the live show, a $25 gift certificate to Dorothy's for one of our lucky viewers. If you comment on the live show and have questions, and Michelle DM Brugio says hi Michelle, and Nora
Michelle.
Cassone says hi.
Hey, Nora.
Deborah Cardarella says hi everyone, and
Hi,
so
Deb.
building up the viewership for the live show here, and so. Let me formally introduce Jess Rufo, who many people know, of course, as the longtime owner of Dottie's. and hugely popular, one of my favorite places. And also Auron Stark, who is behind the bar a lot, right? Is that
Yeah,
how
I
is
mean,
that how it's working?
24 years now.
But
I've been behind all the bars. But yes,
Is there a bar that you have not been behind?
not in Berkshire County, not yet. Yeah, no, I'm the bar and events manager over at Dorothy's, so
Nice.
handling all the menu issues, all the event stuff that we're doing. Yeah, getting ready to gear up and start doing having the space available for private events, and we're doing lots of great stuff.
And one of the biggest pickups of all time, other than Auron, is Sarah Armstrong, and she says, "Hey guys."
What's up, Sarah?
So she came over to Dottie's and to Dorothy's, and we love Sarah, and we've known her for
Yes.
several years.
Yep, the
as
coffee
well.
shop and baseball.
And baseball.
Yeah.
Soma Di Nicola says hi, everyone. Hi, Soma. Paula Jean says hi there. And Aries says it's Dolores. Hi, Dolores. I always say right because that's our Facebook name. But Jim Willis says yo. Charlotte Rogers says hi. First time seeing the show. Hi, Charlotte. So we got to get you over to Dorothy's. And more people commenting. So okay. So Jess,
Yes,
congratulations,
thanks.
because this was not a short process getting the permits for
Oh my
this.
God.
Now, how long exactly did this take from inception to actual opening?
11 months. Is that, yeah, that's true. I bought it in March. And we opened February 1st.
And when you talk about, so it's that attached building, so you actually had to purchase that side of the building, or how did that
We
work?
don't own any of the real estate, let's be very brutally honest. But I will someday.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Are you sure you want that?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I have to have something to dream upon to get me through my days. But yeah, this dream has finally arrived, and it took 11 months, but I've never done anything slowly, like ever. And there were so many fruits that ripened through this process. And I learned so much, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the system. I just learned to move slowly and be patient and trust the universe. And like it all came together in divine timing. And I just highly recommend that method.
Okay, so there's something to
Yeah.
be said for that. Now,
Yeah, it's true.
Patience is a virtue for a reason.
yeah, now Cara is nodding her head because there's a timing
There is.
to a lot of this.
Yeah, and there's a reason why it had to move slow, and the reason, in learning and everything, because there's a reason for that. Like in the future, you're gonna have to like call upon that, I think. So yeah, there's a reason.
It
Yeah,
does.
I got to
I
practice
I get
Yep.
impatient as well, I think, but there is a timing, and once you kind of get into that groove and understand that, you know what, the universe has bigger plans, and they're not, and maybe there are a lot of things that need to happen that aren't in your immediate guys that need to happen first
Mhm.
before the thing happens,
Yeah.
before that thing happens.
Yeah, there were lots of like cans of worms, and then there were also just lots of just life that was happening while this other thing was happening. So yeah, I don't know. It was funny. It was like the tough days were definitely um not until the end. I feel like I kept it together till the very end. And then like once I was just watching the money like go away, and
Just
I
go
was
out the
like,
door.
we have to open.
Yep.
And then we opened. And so when we would have can of worm weeks, it would be like $5,000 here,
Yeah.
$3,000 there. It was like money going out the door. So it was like painful, but it wasn't large amounts. But now we're open and we have payroll, which doesn't look like $5,000,
Right.
tens of
Yes.
thousands of dollars. So that's been another sort of like hat that I've had to put on and like really follow the numbers.
Mm.
which I've never run my business that way. So
Yeah, and that is got to be the
Yeah,
toughest
that's-
business
yeah.
to
And-
to follow the numbers,
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
follow the numbers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but I mean, you've been through that.
44 employees
Mm-hmm.
at our restaurant when we opened. To start, when we closed, we had 22, so we had half when we closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Then-
went from 10 to 21. So
Yeah.
it's a big difference.
It
The rules
is.
are different, like the laws are different.
Mhm.
Like never mind the actual sort of financial commitment. But the actual, like we had to write like a policy book
Oh yeah.
because policies are important
Mhm.
if you have 11 or more employees.
Really? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially if you're a business in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well, at least you did. Yeah, at least.
Now,
you're
did they
able to-
require you to do that now, or did you just do it?
It's sort of like, I guess, strategic employees could use the laws against us
Yep.
if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So we have to preventatively go in there and create the system so that it doesn't become an issue.
Yeah.
Um,
It's great that you did that. I did
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally important
Yeah.
to do. It's
Yeah.
just nothing I've
It was a
ever
lot of work.
committed to.
Oh yeah, the state doesn't require it when you've got less than
It's fun.
15
On the other
employees.
side of the street.
Yeah, yeah. Having an HR department wasn't really, something that.
It
That's
wasn't-
Sarah. That's our Sarah. HR, baby.
Well, it's a good thing.
Mhm,
My
she's great.
gosh. Oh my gosh. So how has it been since you've opened? And we'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get
I
there.
can't wait.
And for full disclosure, Cara and I, our boiler blew out last week. So
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So we've been having that, and Steve Wade, great contractor. Highly
Yes.
highly recommend him.
Thank you, Steve, if
He-
you're watching.
He came in late that night and did some fixes, but then we did the ultimate fix this week. But yeah, so we'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
No rush.
But
The experience is waiting whenever you
Yeah,
whenever you make
exactly.
your way.
so tell me about the experience. What has it been like thus far for you guys?
I mean, for me, it's honestly, it's been nothing but amazing. I've been in the hospitality industry for 24 years. I've opened a few different places over that time. I've done a few rebrands, and of all the places that I've been in this type of role in, this has been the smoothest and the experience with the best feedback. Honestly, aside from timing issues here and there, the feedback from the clientele has been exceptional.
100%.
Everything from the cocktail list and the non-alcoholic drinks list to the food to the service. Like there's really we've not had an official complaint yet, aside from like muttering here and there. Oh, it's taken a little longer, but that's something that happens with every new industry or every new business in the industry.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if timing is our only problem, then we're doing something right.
It's a
Yeah,
good
we
thing.
already fixed it.
Yeah, and that was literally only the first
Yeah,
couple
the
days.
first night we had a major logistical problem.
And that was my fault. That was 100% my fault, and none of us caught it. But we set it up so we had ticketed events. So the first 3 nights we only had 50 people, so the staff wasn't overwhelmed, and everybody had a quality experience. But the way that I worded the event on Eventbrite was people perceived it as show up at 5 o'clock. We're serving everybody at 6 o'clock. And then that's the rest of the night, and that wasn't how we originally envisioned it. So when all of our close friends and family showed up at 5:15,
Oh,
we had
boy.
to kind of struggle for a little bit. But then we made some course corrections and notified everybody for the 2 nights after that, and it was nothing short of miraculous how
Yeah.
well everything went. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the crowd has been big.
The crowd was biggest on opening weekend. I think because, well, we invited everyone and everyone wants to be a part of like the new exciting thing. And it was only 3 days, it wasn't 4 days. But yeah, it's winter. Like our Friday and Saturday nights are busy. We're meeting our projections that we want to be meeting. It's just Wednesday and Thursday. So we're doing some promotional events to kind of get more people in there Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, but there are a lot of restaurants that close, for, but so it's, are you going, what nights are you open?
We're Wednesday through Saturday
Okay.
from 5 till 9.
Okay, Wednesday through
And
Saturday.
Tuesdays we have a promotional event that we're doing as well. That's just we're not doing the dinner experience, but we're doing margaritas and nuggets.
How nice.
Margs and nugs every Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
chicken nuggets and margaritas, tofu nuggets and margaritas. We're gonna have a
cool.
Cauliflower nuggets.
Yeah, cauliflower nuggets tonight.
Cool.
Go see Alyssa.
Fantastic. And Mike
Yeah.
Ward, our good friend, says,
Mike.
howdy guys.
Hello.
Denise Sumi says, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Denise. And she says, hello, my friend. And Dolores says, we absolutely love this group and we hope you continue because it's so successful to a lot of us, she's saying. And Brianna Jean says hi. So lots of warm wishes. And Paula, Scott Graves' wife, says, I can't wait to check it out. So we'll get over there, Paula. So
Yeah.
maybe
You won't be disappointed.
maybe we'll
Paul,
do
we
a double
promise.
date. I heard Scott on the radio this
I know.
morning, actually.
Yeah.
So you guys have been busy. Scott was talking about trying to figure out how to turn the Rileys into condos over there in Lanesboro. They're giving them a hard time over there.
Yeah.
they are?
Apparently. Well,
Oh.
apparently they have 50-foot side setbacks, which to me, if you're right on the lake, you know your setback probably should be to the lake instead of side by side because the whole thing is to get as much frontage
Right,
on the
right.
lake. So they're taking 50 feet on either side
Uh.
that they can't build. So anyway, that's what I learned this morning on the radio. But look, hey, business friendliness here in the Berkshire.
Yeah.
I just said that this morning.
Business.
Right.
We're very pro business. I mean, I'm not, but it that was a slog for you to go 11 months.
Oh
and all
yeah.
the
I mean,
permits
it
and everything.
wasn't the city's fault. I feel like the city was very supportive. Even the building inspectors were very accommodating and, I always want to follow the rules. So because I had done the bakery and I had also before the bakery opened up the first addition to Dottie's, I learned a lot through those processes. So this, my third time out, was a little smoother. The things that really were big bummers were the upgrades that we had to make that the previous space holder did not have to make.
Hmm.
So I was a little like, that's suspicious. But ultimately, I think it was because
So,
Yeah.
but I think I'm just gonna chalk it up to I changed equipment in the kitchen. So that's why I had to redo all the plumbing.
okay. But the inspectors were fine.
They were and accommodating.
They just cost me an extra like $200 grand, but that's okay.
They could help me with. I felt like they were.
Yeah,
It's true. It's the truth.
it is definitely it's
But
not
I'm lucky in that. I don't, and that's why we're all laughing, is because not everyone has that well-worn relationship.
yes. Well, yeah, and I remember, I think I made a phone call or two for the bakery
Yeah. For
on
the
remember
electric
do you remember the electric pole? So these are the crazy things. You look at these utilities, and this wasn't even the city, this was the actual electric company.
Mhm.
And they had to move a pole or they had to
I think they
switch.
had to put one up.
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Yeah.
That's like old
Which
drama.
was completely holding up the business
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah. Because
So
we needed a 3-phase wire. So they had to they had to pull the 3-phase over from one side of the street to the other side of the street.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And
Yes.
that was a big to do.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds
Ever
like a
served
big to
doing the
do
job
because
is always a big to do.
Yeah.
But those monthly bills keep going up.
oh my god,
And,
no.
and that's the thing. And I do recall, because Cara, you told this story
Yeah.
when Brulee's wasn't
Mhm.
open. Every day that you're not open
Yeah.
and you have those dollars flowing out the door,
Mhm.
I mean, you got to get open.
Yeah, we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and it was like that same feeling, like, oh my gosh, we have to open. We are
Mhm.
losing money. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's very stressful.
And
when you're down to
yours
the
was
wire.
the curtains, right?
Ours was the curtains. Yeah, I didn't have tags or something on the curtains to say they were flame
Flame
retardant.
retardant. Yeah. I've been there. I
Yeah.
heard that one before.
Yeah,
That seems
I was like
not
just
good.
ready to take them all down. And then Amir Siddiqui over at Custom Window Treatments was like, I'll help you. So he cut a little piece off. We went to the fire department. He lit it on fire. They were flame retardant. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you just hold a lighter up to
Yeah.
him and be like,
Yeah.
hey guys, here's your
Yeah.
proof.
yeah, it was insane, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost, yeah. So yeah, again, business friendliness, but you are open. And so, tell everyone like what you want this location to be. Mission traditionally was this wonderful location for music. And I know that you have music. That's I assume a big part of what you want to do. Or not.
Interesting. I'm having a very heart open day, so we might get into some topics that maybe are much juicier than the questions. But not that your questions are not juicy, they're very juicy.
You're offending me. My questions are not juicy enough. Come on.
Um,
Bring it out. Bring it out.
So, I mean, I guess there's a part of me initially where I felt very much so pressured to fill the emptiness of the mission that people loved because I wanted to bring that to the community. And for me, that felt very urgent, but also very unnatural. And then I was like, oh, it's okay. I get to be me in the mission space. And like, we're going to bring what we already bring into that space. And that's okay. Like, I'm a qualified person now, like, it's a proven experiment.
Yeah, I would say so. I
Yeah.
would say so.
So that was that. And then as we redid the stage, we weren't sure how much music was going to be a part of what we're doing. But Gina Coleman actually reached out to me like a month before we opened. And I felt like that's not a bad partnership.
No, not at all.
No.
Like she wants to play at Dorothy's. That felt like, okay, universe. Yeah, sure. She wants to do this. I want to do it. She'll bring people in. It'll bring people into the space. Great musicians and definitely quality performers. And then my favorite, so then it just sort of kind of snowballed from there. We were like, okay, we're going to do.
Yeah, it literally lasted one day. She was like, oh, Misty Blues Band reached out and they want to play. And then it was like all of a sudden we had people 4 nights a week
Yeah.
ready to go.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we were really well, first I feel like we were thinking for the opening, and then it just sort of like happened in a 24-hour period. We're like, okay, I guess we're doing music. But the budget for music is, I shouldn't say the budget, the cost of having live music is expensive.
Yes,
Yep.
it
And
is.
so in the winter, it's like, what am I doing right now? And
They better bring in the
yeah. So
people,
Friday
right?
and Saturday nights are our busiest nights, and they're the nights that we have the bands. So I think there's something to say for that.
It'll be interesting to do that sort of that test, that control.
Yeah.
And
We,
be like,
we
all right,
did Friday,
what is the
Saturday.
turnout without the band?
Right.
And what
And
is
what
the
do the
turnout
numbers
with
look
the,
like? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think something that we always seem to forget is that like we did end up opening in February, and so like this is of all the time of year, this is the worst month to
Exactly.
be in
It
this
is
industry,
Yeah.
in the Berkshires.
Yeah.
So like if we're doing as good as we're doing on
Yep.
Friday and Saturday night right now, like I have a feeling that it's just gonna continue to get better because we did start at the darkest time of
Yeah.
the industry year.
yeah.
A lot of people shut down in like January, sometimes February. So yeah, I mean, I think I know you guys are going to be fine.
I
You're
mean,
gonna be
yeah,
fine.
if you're
Yeah.
ever going to open during a time and go through the teeth of something, yeah, open.
Right, like jump right
Yeah.
into the,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
want to know what the
feet
worst
first.
days are gonna look like?
Yeah. I mean, and actually to some extent, maybe it's a good time to sort of, get your operation together
yeah.
before, because at some point, I remember, and again, not to bring the old mission up, but I
Mm.
remember one time my brother came for, was it Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah.
And I recall not being able to get into any place downtown. There was a line out the door at Methuselah's, and I'm like, all right, let's go to Mission. There's a line out the door at Mission. And we went one other place and they were all packed because that's what it was. I don't know if we're still there in downtown Pittsfield right now, probably not even on Thanksgiving, but that was really something. And so when it comes to February, maybe it's a good time to
Yeah.
get that up. But by the way, I want to say that Michelle says very happy with the Misty Blues residency, and Deb Carterella said yes, Jess, do tell. So she's like, don't worry about John's questions. Basically, that's what she's saying.
Oh man.
She's like, if you want to pour your heart out tonight,
Yeah.
and feel free.
Okay.
But no, I mean, listen, there's no question that not only have you established yourself as, one of the preeminent eatery owners in Berkshire County. I mean, Dottie's is an institution. There's no question about it. So that is well established, first of all. And second of all, yeah, you deserve to put your stamp on it.
Yeah. Stamping it. I think we did a really good job of keeping Mission like what is like you can feel Mission in there, you
Mhm.
know, like you
Yeah.
can tell the Mission was there at one point, and I think that that's really important. Um, all of the decorations in that space pretty much came from my grandparents' house.
Mhm.
And they both passed, and their house was cleared out, and I just couldn't imagine any of their stuff going
Yeah.
anywhere. Like I live in a 3-bedroom ranch, like it is packed to the gills. There is
Yeah.
no room for Graham and Gramps like antiques.
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But I could not see them going to like Restore or something like that. So I took as much as made sense, as much as our storage unit could hold. And the really special pieces are in there. This space is definitely a very therapeutic place for me that I built that I hope other people feel very connected to, remembering who they are and where they've come from. We have a big picture wall of like all 6 of the families I've belonged to at any random time in my life. Um, and I think it's just with the the culture that we're in and the way that we function and the very heads down mentality, I really don't want my space to feel like that. I want people to feel like they're at a dinner party at their friend's house. I want them to feel open and conversational and safe. And I think the space, the way it's laid out, the way our menu is presented, it really brings people together.
Mhm.
And I am mostly proud of that. I feel like people's response to the space is how I feel when I'm in the space. And that is a win for me.
Now, 6 different families.
Oh, here's the juice. The blend is now called the juice.
The juicy blend. So I mean,
Well, so my parents were never married. So straight out of the womb, I had 4 families
Mhm.
because I had my dad's family, my mom's family, and my stepdad's family, and my stepmom's family.
Mhm.
So that's 4 families, and then obviously I was married twice, so I
Mhm.
have those chapters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Cara, do we know anybody who's in their first marriage?
I know
I
a
mean, we
few, but
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Well, no, we. I'm
There
just
are
we-
some out there. I think they were like they were married in like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah,
Those ones
exactly.
tend to last.
No,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, we do have a lot of friends who are. It's like, but it's. I mean, that's why we did this podcast, because it's
The
so many.
demographics were-
Yes.
And the ability to be able to say, okay, we have this family and we have this family, we're going to put everybody sort of together in this mix, and I just think that yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
like I mean, listen, you have this journey, this path, for you in this lifetime. You're meant to have a lot of families.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed all of them. And they are part of me. I mean, they are part of my story. They are part of who I am. So they deserve to have a place at the table, you know? And all of us and all of our chapters, they are all us. And I freaking love that.
That's awesome.
I just
Yeah.
love it.
That is awesome.
Everybody is in our lives for a reason.
Mhm.
So we wouldn't be who we are if we didn't experience that. So
I think even the way we're managing our staff is very familial in that we want transparency. We want to be as transparent as we can. We want to talk things through. We want to hear what your perspective is. Like, it's been such a healing process for me, who of those 6 families never really got that clarity, never really was able to have the conversation till I felt satisfied with where it went, even in my marriages. But that's okay, because now I have my now I have my managers, and that it, and this ability to lead the way we want to
Mhm.
and together. And yeah, it's just been good. I feel like I'm reaching the version of myself that I've imagined but haven't really been able to settle into and feel what she feels like.
Well,
but
do
I'm
you
crazy.
do you remember the Jess who opened Dottie's all those
I
years
don't.
ago?
That is some other person. She's here, but she is not familiar to me. I mean, I the parts of her that are still within are definitely a lot of my trigger points, like a lot of my shadow stuff in that. Um, she's scared, she's over talking, over explaining, jumping to the worst possible scenario. She's not moving slowly through anything. Like, that whole energetic is like has I mean, it will. I mean, Warren can tell you it. She shows up, but she gets kicked out.
She does. She
Yeah.
comes out every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me. I'm so
Like at the last manager meeting, what was I saying? I was like, this, and you were like, that is such a helpful boundary. Thank you.
Yeah, and we got some work happening here on the comments section. Jim Willis says, "Do you require reservations?" Sarah responded, "No, but we accept reservations for 6+."
Mhm.
So I assume that's accurate.
That's
there.
accurate. And we have a special for group dining. We offer a 15% discount.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nice. That is very nice. Just take advantage of that.
yeah,
Yeah. Get some.
Bring the
groups
whole
together.
family.
that's a great
Bring the
idea.
whole family. And Jim also says we need good nightlife back and more
Yes.
hustle and bustle. So we can unpack that a little bit. Because you've been there, you've seen the evolution of North Street, ebbs and flows, steps forward, steps backward. How are we doing? How do you feel about downtown right now?
Downtown or nightlife? I mean,
I feel like
yeah.
I can comment on the whole nightlife thing. I think that one of the big issues that we're battling in that arena is the post-COVID world. It's like we went from before the shutdown, it's like there was a lot of establishments that were open late. There was a lot of stuff you could do. There were late night bars, late night food, nightclubs. And during that shutdown, everybody kind of lost that. Like we're excited and happy to be done by 10 o'clock at night. And I think that we're kind of building rather than like reestablishing or trying to get back to the way things used to be. I think we're creating something new
Mhm.
that fits, that cultural shift that we all had to go through.
Mm.
I think that because so many places closed, and it's sort of like can I swear on this show?
Yes.
Facebook might ban us.
Can you swear on this
Yeah. I'm just
damn
wondering,
show?
am I allowed to swear?
You can swear.
I think all the bullshit that came along with COVID, and then whatever kind of bullshit that just comes along with being openly, it was sort of like, it's not worth it. Like, we don't want any part of this. And people just shut down because you know, restaurants, bars, they're not really money makers. They definitely were, but we're not in that like um, generation anymore. It's just not as easy. We'll get back to it, I'm sure, but it's not where we are right now.
Yeah.
Um, so now we have like, I don't even know. I'm so happy I'm not that 26-year-old that we were talking about before,
Is
because
that
I
how
would
old you were? Oh
be,
my gosh.
I know, it's absurd.
You started Dotties when you were 26.
Yeah.
My God.
Wow.
I was not that professional at 26.
know.
Let me tell you.
Well,
I was running nightclubs in Vegas at 26.
well, I wasn't doing that.
Ugh.
I
And-
was,
but thank
yeah.
God at
Yeah,
26.
I couldn't have done it a day later. I always say that. Like, oh my gosh. When I think of Bev in there working so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so happy I'm 26
Yeah.
and doing this.
It takes
Yeah.
a lot of energy for sure.
It really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And as you're referring to Bev from the original Bellissimo Dolce,
Mhm.
and she's still in town. I see her every once in a while.
Oh,
She
I never see her. People ask me
Yeah.
about her. I'm like, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and really, yeah, to ode to her too, because she kind of carved a little bit of the
Yeah,
path, but
definitely.
and then you took it to that entirely new level,
Mhm.
obviously, where where it is, like I said, this institution and really the hub in North Street, but also I think to some extent, I mean, it is I don't know, how would you describe it? The place where people gather.
Yeah.
Um,
All
I mean,
different
hub
people.
is a great way to
different
put it. You know,
people.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Sue Kelly calls it Pittsfield's living room, and
Mhm.
I feel
There you go.
that
There you
feels
go.
Well,
right.
that's what it feels. I mean, I would go there with my teacher friends a lot, and it was just comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
And
we
the
strive for.
mugs are really, they were big, and yeah, I really like that.
You have.
And the mugs are big.
Yeah.
And the smiles.
Hmm.
And the
Um,
smiles.
But I just think, as far as downtown, going back to nightlife, I just feel like all those places closed. So then we had these places where people used to be able to spread out and visit like different types of places that were more suited for whatever they were into, are now all going to like two places. So you have people who aren't used to like
Yeah.
sharing space.
Mhm.
I think if more places opened up, then like not only would it be more enticing, but
Well, there's
it would
also
be
many
more
people
comfortable.
recognize that the concept of the dive bar has gone away
Yeah.
because a lot of the quote unquote dive bars have gone, which then has pushed a certain clientele to
Yeah.
to to Methuselah's, to your location, to what have you, district maybe. Actually, they close earlier,
And
more Thistle,
Mhm. Yeah.
as far as that goes. Not that I'm
Oh, but like
we-
Applebee's,
yeah.
you probably go out there. I always forget about those, but I
Yeah,
bet
they're
people
open
go out
late.
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a story.
That's the $2 margarita crowd.
Now
though.
this
That's-
is now
it
this is
always ends badly.
Yes.
so here's a story, because there was a debate at the Colonial Theater, and it was a mayoral debate last year, and we all wanted to go somewhere
Yes.
afterward, and you weren't open yet,
Definitely
obviously,
not.
and so we couldn't find a place to go. It would have been Methuselah's, but we wanted something
Yeah.
to eat, and it was
Yep.
only like
It was about
8:30 or 9
yeah,
o'clock.
yeah.
It wasn't.
It was definitely not even 9 o'clock yet.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so where did we end up going? We went
Applebee's.
to Applebee's.
Yeah.
So so there's something to be said for, wait a minute, you know,
Yeah.
how- we got to do better
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the downtown. So but yeah, I think this is amazing because, so having that combination of saying, okay, I want to honor the tradition of Mission, but then also saying, hey, look, we know what we're doing.
Mhm. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. I've done this.
Well, and
Okay.
Yeah.
honestly, that's how the feedback has been. There have been so many people who have come in who came in because they were Mission people and they wanted to see what the space was like, and
Yeah.
that's been the consistent feedback, is that, oh, this is really great because we get the nostalgic feel
Yeah.
from when we were in Mission, but
Mhm.
it's still something unique and new and enjoyable. So it's like this really cool amalgamation of what used to be here and what we all know. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like Mission was a big deal when I first moved home from the West Coast. And some of the best friendships I have since moving back were founded and had nights at that place. And to be in that space and have something else going on that's new and exciting, I think is just exactly what downtown needs.
And Molly Reardon says Jess with lots of hearts. And she says very talented chef and a beautiful woman, she says.
Oh,
Anne Marie Preventure says, can't wait to check it out. And Molly Reardon says, and I love her mom as well. Monica Bliss says, every version of Jess is an amazing cook, chef,
oh my
baker.
gosh.
That's very
Love Jess.
sweet. And a lot of people agreeing with her there. Tina Bordeaux says hi. And Molly also says, I would love a golden milk right now. Actually,
Ooh, what is that?
what's the golden milk?
Milk and
No, he's lying. We don't have coconut. milk.
Oh,
Did you want to answer the coffee and tea?
No, I think it's a golden milk is a natural remedy too, and that's where my
oh, okay.
forgot it's a drink.
Well, it's a it is a turmeric tea concentrate, similar to chai, but the flavor profile is a little different. There's star anise, black and white pepper, what else is in there? I don't know, something else. Ginger,
Oh,
and turmeric, and then it gets sweetened with honey and steamed milk of your choice.
That's good. And Jim also points out the district closes at 10 also.
okay.
Um, and Molly said that Mission had dates wrapped in bacon.
Oh, they did.
That was one of my
That is true.
favorite things.
That was good. Yeah, I do recall that. I do recall that.
Bacon dates and the chicken croquettes.
Oh, I had the chicken croquettes. Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite too.
Yeah.
So what are the go-tos now? What are people liking? Is there anything that's people are ordering that you're surprised that they're loving?
Well, now is a great time to talk about the menu. So we have like a
Off the
concept menu.
expected.
That's your segue into your menu.
Yeah. So so when we did our soft opening, we offered what we call the experience. It's the experience that we want you to experience when you're with us. And we wanted practice serving that. So and that's, like I said, what we wanted people to come in and be known for. So we only served that. And what it is, it's a shareable platter. Which will change seasonally, but this variation has like a Mediterranean vibe to it, and it has hummus, chimichurri, tapenade,
Tzatziki, whipped feta with local honey,
Yeah.
and
then roasted vegetables, greens,
homemade focaccia.
homemade focaccia, house-made pickles. Like it's just basically a smorgasbord of food that you're meant to share with whoever you're there with. And where it gets changed up is there's a list of proteins. So you would pick your protein, she would pick her protein, and that's sort of how you build the meal. So it's an appetizer that evolves into a meal when you get your proteins. And
That's
so
awesome.
all those sauces pair really well with how the proteins are seasoned. So no one's sitting there hangry. Like everyone has a gigantic pile of food in front of them, and it's just so beautiful. And when we rolled that out and we saw these dining rooms filled with these people that were actually like talking to the people next to them, because what's on their experience is also their experience.
Mhm.
So suddenly we have a way to connect with one another. And I was just like, this is what we're serving. We're not doing anything else. This is what I want. This is the feel that I want. This is the experience that I want people to experience when they're experiencing Dorothy's.
Yeah, that's cool.
That sounds awesome.
What do you think about that?
I love that. Well, because there hasn't been anything. I remember Hotel on North when they first opened, they had something like that where you sat on the couches and then you like shared a flatbread or a crudité or something like that. But
yeah, they had the beautiful slicer and the
Yeah.
raw bar. I just need like a raw bar somewhere.
yeah,
If we could just have that. That would be nice.
We had one in our restaurant and we tried to do that on Wednesdays. Wednesdays was like a dead night.
Is
And
that when I was saying I wanted to do ours too?
Yeah, you wanted to do it on Tuesday instead of Taco Tuesday. You wanted to do
No.
oysters and yes.
And steaks. on
So what?
Tuesday?
So
Yeah,
when's it?
because me and Misty wanted to do Taco Tuesdays and you said no, we're doing oysters and
Oh, yeah.
steak.
That's what I wanted.
well, the
to
raw
say.
bar worked. It brought people in
Oh, it did.
on Wednesdays. Oh yeah.
Well, it's because there's, I
Mhm.
mean, there's nowhere that really has that. Like that was,
No.
I was at Hotel on North when they first opened up, and that was a huge
That's
draw.
what I
Yeah.
came for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Even though they were so mean to me every time.
it's just because.
It was mean to you.
I had a real. I actually one night I was literally
I love this
cried
story.
because I was like, did I do something to you? Like, do you just not like me? I just couldn't take it anymore. It was so weird. I would go in there and they would completely ignore me at
Who?
the bar,
Oh, like
whoever the bartenders were.
oh,
It was like
at-
this gaggle of women that worked there before you worked there.
Hotel on North.
Yes. And they would
Oh,
all
okay.
like, look over and around me, and I'd be
Oh
like,
my.
I am like,
You're like, I'm right here, right here.
Oh my gosh.
walking past me like this. And I just must have been having an open-hearted day. And I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to be a customer here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it felt so personal. It was so every single time. So, and they were waiting on other people. So
Oh man.
I don't know.
You had some
It's
secret
funny.
haters, I
I
guess.
know. I always feel like I always have. They're just normally hiding in my house. Not in public.
Oh man.
That's funny. Yeah, so I don't know. We love what we're doing. We're super proud of it. It has had a phenomenal response. I am
Oh yeah,
super proud of us.
that was the other thing in regards to like the whole shared plate thing. The one thing that everybody keeps saying is, "This is my favorite way to eat."
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like that's, you know, we talked about it before when we were like still coming up with the concept and the menus, but it's like that's one of the things that when you go to big cities or when you travel, like there's all these places where this style of, you know, dinner and communication is regular, and we don't have anything like it in the Berkshires, and people really, they enjoy the excuse to have that conversation. They enjoy the opportunity to share because that's all you can do with what we serve, you know. And I think it creates a level of camaraderie and personal connection during a meal that as a society we've lost over time. You know, people don't do the family meals anymore. People aren't sitting down and having those meals and those experiences with friends and family on the regular like we did when we were growing up. And now it's something that we can offer to the general public, you know, several days a week. So
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful.
I think it's a great concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
What-
sure.
I think also because we're a coffee shop that is evolving into 3 meals a day, I just feel like we don't have to be everything. We don't have to
No.
have like a 16-page menu. Like
Mm.
we have a half-page menu.
Mm.
and it's
And
great.
it's great. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's a luxury in us evolving in this way where we get to kind of do it our way. And hopefully everyone likes it. But like I don't feel the pressure to have to provide anything else. I'm like, this is what we do and it's awesome. So get on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely. I mean, it gives you some flexibility there in the sense that, like, you know, you know who you are as a business. You've had a long term situation there, and then being able to sort of carve and sculpt it.
Something that
Kinda
works
sculpt
for
it,
us.
yeah.
It's also an
Yeah.
88-seat restaurant now, and we have a kitchen that was built for a 30-person restaurant, which is a huge upgrade from what I came from. So I am very proud of our kitchen.
Hey, how
Very
how many
excited.
seats was it in the beginning?
Oh, we had like, well, I was talking about Mission.
Oh, okay.
Like Mission's kitchen wasn't built for 88 for an 88-seat restaurant. So our menu had to be able to translate to an 88-seat restaurant where we could be successful if we're full, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, now so your husband,
Mhm.
I see him at Dottie's all the time. Now, is he
Mhm.
working at night too, or is he?
He's mostly holding it down in the coffee world. We don't want to completely abandon our family at night, so we're trying to
Right.
do it this way.
Yeah.
And because we've been doing this for a month and I feel like we have like staffing really figured out for the 4 nights that we're open, that I haven't really had to be there. I like to be there because it because it's nice to be seen and it's nice to witness the happy faces and the feedback and like pay attention to what maybe the servers don't pay attention to. It's definitely important for
Well,
me
I
to be
think, I
there.
mean, I think that's especially in a new business, and I'm gonna look over to Cara on this one because in order to have that set of eyes from the ownership,
Yeah.
there's and even if Warren's there, and he is,
Yep.
but I think there's something to be
It's
said
huge.
for for
To
that
be
presence.
there, to be visible, and people want to see you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, for sure.
So this week I'm
Because
going
when
to put
now
my big girl pants back on.
because when
Calm
Cara
down.
Yeah, a long
when
weekend.
Cara had
last
her
weekend.
her restaurant, she went back to teaching,
Yeah.
and you weren't there as much, and
And it changed. It
Yeah.
was different. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So someone always has to be there. So I'm kind of taking over the night eyes and Mike is the daytime eyes.
Yeah. So it's a great guy.
Yeah. He's so good. He is.
It's just, I love the way you said it. It's just,
He's so good.
He's so good. I guess I have a bit of a situation because he's in South Carolina right now. And
Oh, is he?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, I'm like, we gotta get you back
I know.
here.
That's fine. I'm doing good. I can totally handle it.
I think only 3 more days.
Oh my
I
goodness.
got this. Well, my girls are old enough now where I can come here and
How
be
old
here.
are they now?
So Esme just turned 13.
Okay.
So she's she's maybe at a basketball game right now with her friend in Tallulah's watching Sailor. So
And I
yeah.
think I recall, because there's probably still photos and actually I'm sure there's a video still of them doing what, gingerbread houses?
Yes,
What was it?
yes, that's what I was thinking of when you were on North Street.
On
Yeah.
the John Krol show.
And they were just like
Aw.
dumping frosting all over you. And I was like,
At that age, it
they
doesn't
were
matter.
so little.
I
Oh
know.
my gosh.
You look at
so many
photos,
years.
the
I know.
Facebook memories come up or something, and
Mhm.
you see like your child who's 8, but when he was 4 or
Yeah.
3, it's oh my
Yeah.
god, they're so cute.
I know.
They're still
And
cute.
you
It
always
goes
think
by
they're
so
so big.
fast.
That's my thing. I'm
Yeah.
always like, you're so big, but it's like they're the smallest they're gonna be ever again. So
Yeah,
focus on that adorableness.
yeah. Do you ever? I mean, I don't know. How do you ever feel like you miss things? I don't. I feel like you
missed-
wouldn't.
No,
You're,
I feel like when my girls were little, I feel like I got to spend so much time with them,
Mm.
and I'm so grateful for that. And I do also get to spend a lot of time with Sailor, but I'm just so tired that I'm like, he can watch a screen all day if he wants to. I'm okay with that. And I don't know who that person is.
true, honest.
Yeah. I'm just like, thank God that this is the thing of your generation because mommy needs
And the
it.
kids are okay with that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, they
It happens.
sometimes will oblige you and stare at a screen.
Yeah, it just. I mean, I don't. Hey, listen, the world doesn't make it easy on parents.
No,
Lucky
and you
parents.
set out,
Yeah.
I set out, I wouldn't let my kids on electronics for a very long time. And my son, especially, I would not let, my daughter didn't really care about video games, but my son wanted video games and I
Mhm.
wouldn't let him. And I held on to that for a long time. And then when he turned probably, I don't know, 10, I allowed certain things.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
You know, he
And
just,
the other thing, a lot of, and not to, but these kids, this is, this is how they socialize too. Like, we used to play, all right, so Orange, all right, so Orange's like, all right, man, you're
Well, no, I love
You're-
what Cara just said because so many parents like that was the world that I grew up in.
yeah.
Like I was allowed to play my Game Boy for 30 minutes at a time. It was usually only like if we were at the doctor's office and like my parents had to be talking to somebody
Yeah.
else. Video games were only after like 6:30 or 7 p.m. You had to shut it off an hour before bed. And nowadays it's like, I mean, I
Yeah.
see people come into the not at Dottie's, but like, a lot of the other restaurants I've worked at, parents show up for dinner and they set their kid
Yep.
up with
Oh, yeah,
with
that's
the
right.
iPad
Oh,
and
At dinner,
headphones
yeah.
and the
that's
kid's
not-
9 years old and he's got Coke bottle glasses like that. And I'm like, to
Yeah.
me, that's child abuse.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's
But,
yeah.
you
You don't do that. You don't do that. But in the proper time, a lot of times, hey, the kids are. This is how they hang out because they're home and they're playing like Fortnite together.
Yeah, and we joke
they're-
because he and I will be like, we have a room in our house. It's kind of like our room, and there's no TV in there or anything. We don't have cable,
Mhm.
you know. And so we're in one end of the house and the kids are, and it's like every 2 seconds they come out with these noises.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you're
'cause
like,
they're
oh my
yelling
God.
and yeah.
So funny.
They're hysterical, but
Uh,
but still my favorite
yeah.
it is a screen, but my 8-year-old loves to watch a movie,
Yeah.
and I'll and so if he's ever like, Daddy, I want to watch a movie, it's like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
I
care
feel like that's different though.
because
I feel
oh
like
no, it's different.
like,
but I
like a
mean,
movie with parents is like that's a quality
That's
bonding
bonding, yeah.
experience. You
You
can
know.
that's something you
Yeah.
can discuss. And
because one day
He's not going to
he's
want
never
to.
gonna
He's
watch
not
a
going
movie
to
with
care.
kids.
so
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
like,
Because they
what
do
I'm
hit
doing.
that point. I
Yeah.
mean, my son, he loved bedtime. I would rub his back. And now if I go in to say goodnight, he's like, okay, good night, Mom. Good night.
Yeah.
Like, Mommy, what? You
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
me to
Mom.
rub your back? Nope.
Yeah, you don't want me to get into bed with you.
Yeah.
That's why I
We're-
tell. I'm like, Sailor can live at home forever and live in the basement. I'll make it. He can play video games all
He's gonna
day.
be one of those failure to
And-
launch kids.
yeah.
She's gonna be fine.
I'm
with
gonna be
it.
fine with it. I'm like, what do you want for dinner tonight? And I'm
Chicken nuggets.
yeah, you want some chicken nuggets?
what does Mike have to say about that? But that's
Yeah, no.
Mike's right
definitely
there
would
with
not
him.
say he feels bad that he had Sailor so young, like or so old, he feels like he's gonna miss most of his life.
Oh,
Like he's got that feeling.
he's still young.
He was 40. Well, he was 40 when Sailor was born.
Okay,
So he
but
feels like he's already mourning the loss.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know that's a little dramatic.
he's
Mike.
got
I think that's
Like-
first kid. That's what happens with your first kid, though. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you're gonna die someday.
I felt that way. I was 32 with my first,
Yeah.
34 with my second,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, people are having kids later and later. So
Yeah.
So all dude,
Yeah.
so many of my friends, like so many of my friends, I have 5, maybe 6 friends that all just had brand like newborns
wow.
and like they're my age and they all have older kids and I'm like, you guys,
You
your
clear.
kids were 16 and 20, like you were this close to like European
Yes.
vacations and like backpacking adventures, and now you have a toddler
I know.
or an infant.
So close.
Yeah, so close. Be
We're
like,
so
like, I guess I won't be seeing you guys in Europe this summer. Like,
Well, that was the weirdest thing when the kids got to a certain age and my daughter was old enough to babysit my son. It felt so weird to me. And I was just like, oh no, I don't know. But now I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, this
This is
is
cool.
awesome.
now
Because
you get
now
now it's a freedom ticket because
Yeah, because now he's actually, he's going to be 13. She's going to be 16. But initially that was hard. I was like, oh man. But yeah, I can't imagine a toddler
Yeah.
at this point.
No, yeah. I mean, every once in a while we talk, and it's like, well, if it happens, it happens. But then we were in Market 32 the other day,
and you saw a child having
We
a
saw-
meltdown, didn't you? Yeah, you're like,
Like-
I'm
Was it
never
my
doing
son?
that again.
and it was like a blood curdling scream,
Yeah.
and not like the
And you
cry.
It's
you
not
know?
like the good old days. You can't just smack them anymore.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
I have a really hard time when I'm in the supermarket and children are screaming and crying. I want to like go over to them and like soothe them.
Mhm.
It's like, so I never have, because obviously like every parent in the world would beat me up if I did that. But that's what's hard for me.
Yeah.
Like this, I go
Soothing
into
would be
like,
better than going over and trying to tell the parent how to parent. But
yeah, well, I feel like in a way that is what's happening. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like,
if you
"Well,
try to soothe, you're like,
how
this
can
is
you
what
let
you
your
should be
kids cry?
doing.
Yeah.
let me
creating
soothe
a
your
mother
child.
wound right now. Like, I know he's being annoying, but can you just acknowledge his feelings?
Yeah.
Well,
Target used to do that
Feel that way.
to my son. Target was like overload for him.
Mhm.
And so every time we went in there, it didn't matter. He would just tantrum. And my ex-husband one night had to take him out, carry him out
Yeah.
because
heard.
he was just screaming and he's like, it's too much for him,
Mhm.
So he's walking out and my son's like writhing around and he's like trying to hold him and he gets outside and this woman thought he was stealing our son. So she called security.
Oh
So
my
security had to come, which it's kind of a good thing in a way because you never
Yeah.
really know. But I quickly went through the checkout with my daughter, got out to the parking lot, and I see him with security, and I'm like, he's our son, like, whatever. But yeah, so we took a break from Target for a little while.
Little Target break.
Target break.
Sorry, Brit.
I have a story that I have to share about that, and then we can move on. But the story is too good. I can't. And I'm really feeling my dad today. So when I was little, I've told you this, Auron. I think it was what was in like where Dick's is. Was
Oh,
that
that was Bradley's, right?
okay? So we
Yeah.
were
Bradley's?
going
Yeah.
into Bradley's one time, and my dad and I were walking through the parking lot holding hands, and I like pulled my, oh no, did I pull my, I don't know. I don't remember if I don't think I pulled my arm out and ran, but I was just like, this isn't my dad. This isn't my dad.
Oh,
I
wow.
thought it was funny to do that to
Oh
my dad.
my God.
That's how close we were.
Okay.
I would just be like, this is hilarious. People are going to love this. He's like, oh my God, I'll never do that.
Oh,
So it happens both ways,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah.
But he didn't get in trouble or anything.
No, he didn't.
No.
No. I think I was probably like, oh, this isn't funny. I didn't, in my mind, it was hilarious.
Well, times are different too now because if a kid did that now, it would be like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, like in 84.
Yeah.
people-
It's like, oh, it's not your kid. Oh, okay.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
like, that's normal.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
That's someone else's problem.
whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on. But now, yeah, it's a little different nowadays. I mean, we grew up in crazy times.
We did.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
no
and they-
seatbelts. I remember
Oh my
like
God, the back of pickup trucks, like
Yeah.
40 miles an hour.
we'd go to the spring. My grandfather had this little tiny pickup truck and we'd go to the spring in Lanesboro to
To get
fill up the
water.
water jugs.
I live on that road.
And we'd ride in the back of the pickup.
Mhm.
My cousin and I. I don't know if Michelle's listening, but yeah, I mean, it was like I mean, it was so fun,
Mhm.
but yeah.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So you never told us, I mean, we were the
Estaminet.
Estaminet. Is that how you say it?
Estaminet.
Estaminet. Say that 5 times fast.
Estaminet.
Estaminet. So tell me about
He's
the
doing what you do.
I know. She always makes fun. Because if for
He's
some
like
reason,
Did I not say it right?
Spanish. Well, you were about to, and then you did what he does, which is Estaminet.
yeah, I always want to say Estaminet, and it's, I don't know, apparently that's more Spanish accent, but it's French.
I mean,
so
I don't
it's-
know French, so I'm maybe this isn't how you say it, but just based on the phonetics, when I looked it up, I feel like I'm pretty good at that. But it's Estaminet.
Estaminet.
No, you-
Estaminet. Esta
Me.
No,
me.
no, me.
Estaminet.
Estaminet. Yeah, me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's
Estaminet.
just an I that sounds like an
Estaminet.
E. Yeah,
Estaminet.
Yes.
There you go. So it is Spanish
No,
because
it's French.
Yeah.
I know, but if you pronounce it the Spanish way, you're right. Mean because it's M-I, right?
Yes.
Estaminet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But there's something about the esta that gets stuck.
Yeah.
Because
With
yo
like a-
está.
Yeah.
Está
Yeah.
aquí,
Yo
está
está.
ahí.
But
So it's
the-
Estaminet.
Estaminet, and it means, did you look it up?
I read about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but I didn't memorize it, so you can. Estaminet
Estaminet
means
so Justin Allen helped me with that logo. And I kind of like wrote him a description of what I wanted it to feel like and smell like and sound like in there. And I told him I wanted a disco ball incorporated, that I wanted to bring a really European feel. And I don't know where he came up with this from, but the French, they have a word for everything. And Estaminet is a cafe that serves alcoholic beverages, semicolon, a particularly shabby one.
okay.
And that's what really like sealed the deal for me.
You're like,
Like the bar was down. I was like, I can really do that. I can do a
As soon as
shabby
she
one.
read shabby, she's like, I
This
got
is
it.
me. This is me. So
perfect. Well, on that, Dorothy's is open, and all you people who have commented, you're in the running for a $25 gift certificate, which will be awesome to go check it out. And so it's been such a pleasure.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been
So
fun.
your hours are starting Wednesday through
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep, we serve dinner from 5 until 9. And on those days we don't close at all. So we have food from opening until close.
Mm.
So there's like a little like abridged menu from 2 to 5 while we're switching over. But
Fantastic.
food
Very
and
cool.
coffee.
Yeah,
rolling.
can't wait.
I just
Can't wait
wanna
to go.
throw it out there that we also do have a specific non-alcoholic elixir menu. We do serve non-alcoholic and gluten-free beers. One of our big goals is trying to make sure that we have something to accommodate everybody so that people don't, they can always want to come out and enjoy.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome.
So,
Yep.
well, everyone, have a wonderful night. And
Yeah.
Susan Corin Coldus is great show as always. Thank you for tuning in, Susan.
Aw.
And if you missed any portion of the show tonight, it will be on Facebook and YouTube, and also in our audio version eventually once I post edit that. But Auron Stark and Jess Rufo and Cara. Oh, what a great pleasure tonight. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Congratulations.